Y'all want to know the key to life?
Yeah.
Who want to know the key to life? Honestly. Hands down. The key to life. Give it to you. When I give you this key to life, immediately you will know how to become successful. The key to life. You know what it is, man? You sure? I think you know. Now some of you are going to grab this key. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to unlock the key to success, and you're going to grow up and be outstanding in life. And some of you all are going to look at the key and you're going to let it sit there. This key is like having $1 million. How many of y'all want $1 million? Put your hands down. This key is like $1 million, but just like if I told y'all right now I have an account for you for $1 million at the bank, if you don't know about it, you can never go what? Get it. So it's still of no use to you. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's what it is.
So that's the same as knowledge. Knowledge sits right there in front of you. If you don't pick it up and turn to what? Key. It's still not no use to you. But the key, to life, to have a fulfilling life, to have a successful life, totally successful life, the key to life is to, who got it? Who got it? I told it to you.
Faith.
Self-control.
Close. Say it with discipline. One more.
Self-determination.
You say it one more time. The key to life. You got it?
Yourself.
Close.
Self-discipline.
Close.
Believe in yourself.
Close. One more time. See, because the key to life, you got to do this in order to get it.
Have faith in yourself. Love thyself.
Oh. She's the closest. She's the closest.
Believe in yourself and others.
So close.
Respect yourself.
You're forgetting one more thing. One more time. Y'all ready? The key to life is
Don't know yourself.
who got it?
Don't know yourself.
Close.
Do you know yourself?
Close.
You know yourself.
You got it. That's it. But
Ooh. Donate.
Love thyself.
say it.
To love thyself.
Say it. Say it. Say it. Give me a hand. Give me a hand. Don't be mad. Give my hand, y'all. What is it? Say it loud.
To love thyself.
All right. You know thyself. Give it up for her. Yeah. What's the key to life, y'all?
To love thyself.
One more time.
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 To love thyself.
Everybody say, when you know.
When you know.
That you know.
That you know.
That you know.
That you know.
Who you know.
Who you know.
That you know.
That you know.
That you know.
That you know.
Who you know.
Who you know.
Then you know.
Then you know.
That you know.
That you know.
That you know.
That you know.
What you know.
What you know.
And you know.
And you know.
You know.
You know.
Did y'all get that?
Yeah.
Did I lose y'all somewhere I wanted to know?
No.
All right. But the key thing is, when you know, you know, you know. Y'all man.
Eat
What's the key to life, y'all?
To love thyself.
Look at what goes on in the world. You see the Vietnamese people came here to New Orleans, right? Where do they live at? Out in the east. Am I correct?
Yes.
Do they make money?
Yes.
They make a lot of money. Because they're building up homes and they're owning those homes. Okay? They're building businesses and they own those what? Businesses. And what did they do? They're doing the same thing we're doing. But the thing is that they come to know thy what? self. And they continue to learn more about their culture and their history, so they know more about them what? Self. So therefore they work together in unity to build as a group rather than to build as an individual. Now let me ask you a question. If we took a little straw off of a broom, and every one of us separately tried to sweep this room, how successful will we be? We'll be here all day, wouldn't we? Yeah. Think about it. Everybody got one little straw. Think about it. Off of a what? Broom. What do we have?
One little straw.
And where it come from?
A broom.
And what are we trying to do?
Sweep the floor.
By ourselves with one what? Straw. How successful will we be? Not successful at all. But let me ask you a question. If I took my straw, gave it to you, you took my straw plus your straw, gave it to her. You gave your straws to her, you gave your straws to him, you gave your straws to her, and now we got like 50 straws all what? Together. And then the class next door gave us their straws, and the classes next door gave us their what? Straws, and the classes next door gave us their what? Straws. Now, how successful we'll be at sweeping the room? Very successful. Am I correct?
Yes.
Now, can you in your mind see how your mojo works?
Yes.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Watch how good of a time we're going to have at the party on Thursday. You know why? Because you're going to come, and then you're going to come, and then you're going to tell him to come, and then her to come. And all of us going to come to a party, and guess what? Just like the other parties that we've had, we're going to come have a real good time. We're not going to have no fights. We're not going to have no arguments, because we're all working together in what? Unity. And when you know thyself, you love thyself, and you want to do the best by what? Thyself. Do we understand that?
Yes.
I want everybody to listen at somebody who's giving you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, over looking at something that you can see anytime, which is what? Space Jam. That tells me that you are a classroom of intelligent young people. Am I correct?
Yes.
What is intelligence? Intelligence is somebody who understands that they need knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and they want to get it.
To love yourself.
That's right. To love thyself. Now let me ask you a question. How many of you guys know for a fact that inside your community there are people dealing drugs? Raise your hand. Hands down. How many? Come on, we're gonna be real truthful right now for a minute. How many of you all in here know somebody who's dealing drugs in your community? Raise your hand. Come on, be honest. You've seen them. Hands up high. Now you know you've seen somebody dealing drugs in your community. Somebody selling drugs. If you saw them selling drugs in your community, raise your hand. Okay? Hands down. Have you seen somebody in your community who you know who's taking drugs? Raise your hand. You know somebody in your community who is actually taking what? Drugs. Smoking them, or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Raise your hand high. High, I want to see. Who has a gun? Raise your hand. You know that for sure, my man? Yeah. Okay. Hands down. Let me explain something to you. When I was young, I grew up in the project, but all of the questions that I asked you, I would have to never raise my hand to none of it, even though I grew up in a design housing project. I've seen a little bit, but not nothing like what you're talking about. And you kids are how old?
12, 10, 11.
So we 9, 10, 11, 12 years of age. Y'all man. And you're experiencing stuff that people would normally experience when they're about 20, 21 years of age. So that means that society has failed you. We have not protected you as young people to shelter you away from all of these bad experiences until you're old enough or able to deal with it. So as an African American male, I take part of the blame. I take part of the blame for failing you. And this is the reason why I'm in the class. Nobody's paying me a dime. Have y'all paid me any money since I've been here?
No.
Have y'all paid me a tuition?
No.
Have y'all gave dues to me while I've been here?
No. 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 No.
And the reason why is because it is time for us to begin to give back to our community, to better the future for our kids. Now, how many of your grades has gotten better since I've been here? Raise your hand. How many of you begin to just, bog down in terms of your study and begin to understand how important your grades are? Raise your hand. Very good. Hands down. That's very important. You have a question?
My cousin got a free scholarship.
Where?
At Go There, she got a free scholarship.
That's great. How old is your cousin?
11.
All right. Give his cousin a hand, y'all. Wait. We got some player haters. Everybody give his cousin a hand. Now remember, your emoji means what? Unity. If something happens good to you and you want to share, then you want others to appreciate it. Am I correct?
Yes, Master.
I can't hear y'all.
Yes, Master.
So we have to do the same for others. That's where respect comes in at. Okay? Chest up here straight. Now, what I'm going to do is this. Master O'Neill been working with you for the last 7 weeks. Am I correct?
Yes, Master.
I'm going to open up the last 5 minutes of class. And you know what I'm going to do? Something that no teachers, no principals ever let or allow you to do. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let y'all ask me anything you want. That's right. Any question you want. Any question you want, ask me. Just ask it. And I'll answer it for you. Go.
When DJ Jesus leave, everybody get a tape?
What?
Understand.
We ain't on those discos, bro. I'm sorry. Now, anybody want to ask them pertinent questions? Yes, ma'am.
If your friend is doing drugs,
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
if your friend is doing drugs and they ask you to do it, don't you have to say no?
Yeah. No. Hey, player haters, you can always hear the what? Player haters. Because they always want to try to knock somebody else. Let me ask you a question. Was she not bold enough to ask the what? Question. The ones who laugh, they ain't asking the what? Question. And there is no question that asked is a bad question. Any question asked is a good what? Question. So to answer your question, sister, yes. You say no. Not only do you say no, you avoid the situation. If you know that's a person who is negative, you avoid that person. And I remember going to Culver, and they had a guy named Reno, who y'all remember Reno? Who remember Reno? Raise your hand. Okay. Had a guy named Reno I used to avoid for a long time because I knew he was doing bad things and I didn't want to get involved with him.
Please bust the office, Mrs. Gilliard.
So if I see him going by Busy Bee, I would go around the corner and wait till he leave, and then I went into the store to buy whatever I need to buy. Okay? So everybody say prevention.
Prevention
Is better.
is better
Than rehabilitation.
than rehabilitation.
Okay? Which means that you get involved with somebody like that, you go to jail, and then they gotta try to get you out and all of that type of stuff. If you just prevented the situation altogether, you won't have to what? Worry about it. Do y'all understand that?
Yes, Master.
Okay, come on. Anybody else have another question? First of all, let's give her a hand, y'all. All right. Anybody else have a question? Yes, sir.
Did somebody ever ask you, do you want to do drugs?
Yes. I've had many people that ask me, do I want to do drugs? Not only have I had kids ask me, do I want to do drugs when I was growing up, I've had professionals ask me, as I've been an adult, do I want to do drugs? Okay? And still to today, people who don't know me very well will still try to offer me drugs or cocaine or crack and etc. But I've always been bold enough to deal with them right up front. No! Oh yeah, I don't play. I deal with them right up front and say, don't you ever ask me that what? Again. Okay? Because I don't play when it comes to those type things. I've never drank a day in my life. I've never smoked a day in my life. And I've never done drugs. Not even one day in my life. Who was over here raising their hand? You and then you, my lady. Go ahead.
Did they ever ask you again to use drugs?
Yeah, and that's when we had the big throwdown. Okay? Matter of fact, I think that was like my second or third fight at Culver. When I was going, what happened was I was in the band, I was in the choir, but the band room is right down the street, right down the hallway, not down the street, right down the hall from Culver, and we were all in the bathroom, and I was using the restroom, and this guy kept asking me over and over again to use At that time, it was weed. Okay? And what he did was that when I was using the restroom, he took some weed and put it in his mouth, and he grabbed me, and he blowed it in my face. Okay? And then I sidekicked him right up on his chin, knocked him clean over the, the commode or whatever. Okay? Then I picked him up and put his head in the commode. And then I had to get put out for a while. But to me, I was like, ain't nobody else in Carver asked me to do what? So, I'm not promoting that to you guys, to don't kick nobody, but somebody violated me and blew this stuff in my face, and I felt that that was attempted murder to me. So therefore, I just tried to do that to him. No, it's not your turn. It's just to come up to me and was trying to sell drugs to somebody else. Now remember, it is a what? A kid. So therefore, when that kid did that, I took the kid, put him in my car. He didn't know I was an officer. And I gave him the scare of his life. I took him down to Central Lockup, and I put him under lock and key for a minute. And let me tell you something, this kid right now is doing real good today, okay? He straightened his whole life around. And I call it scared crazy, because I scared him so much, he was almost crazy. And now he's doing real good. He's, matter of fact, he's in law school. Go ahead. Wait, no, your turn, sir.
So I asked you to kill somebody?
If somebody ever asked me to kill somebody, no. Nobody's never asked me to kill somebody, because anybody who knows me knows that I'm a positive person, that I would never do that. My mother gave me a high five and a low five and a medium five.
Why?
Why she gave me five? Because she don't want me doing drugs. And when I told her what the situation was, she was like, yeah, anybody try to give you drugs, that's what you need to do. You need to defend yourself. You don't understand. Once you take drugs is inside your system almost forever. That's almost like somebody, trying to kill you. So drugs ain't nothing to play with, y'all. So don't let nobody feed y'all no foolishness, okay? Go ahead, son.
What project you grew up in?
I grew up in the Desire Housing Project, man. Go ahead, in the corner. Have I ever got jumped? Oh, y'all want to hear my jump story?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, well, the first time I've ever got jumped was, I was 13 years old. There's another skating rink used to be across the canal. I don't know if it's still open. On Catherine.
Yeah. What's the name of it?
I forgot the name. It was on Catherine Street, Catherine and St. Claude. There was a skating rink over there. I don't know if it's still there. It's still there? Okay. Well, what happened was me, my brother, and two of my cousins went to the skating rink. I'm talking. I know you're not talking while I'm talking. Me and my brother and my two cousins went to the skating rink, and they had a bus of kids came in from a place called Gertown. Y'all ever heard of Gertown?
Yeah.
And these kids from Gertown they came in a whole busload of kids. And it was just me and my brother and two cousins, and we were skating, having a good time. I'm jamming, I'm having a good time, right? Well, and this big heavyset kid tripped me down, and so I got up, and I'm back, and I'm jamming, man. I'm having a good time, because the music playing, while you skate. Second time I fell down, I was like, well, it's a coincidence. The same guy knocked me down 2 times, right? Well, I'm back. I'm jamming. And the third time, I got knocked down again. I know it was the exact same guy. And I said to myself, man, am I a fool or what? This boy is trying to hurt me. So I skated up to him and I said, man, you better quit knocking me down like that. And he said, okay. Skating, back jamming, having a good time. Hey, guy knocked me down a 4th time. And I told him, I said, look, that's it. I went toward the side to pull off my skates because I was about to deal with him. About 4 or 5 guys just came to jump all on top of me. Brrr, just hit me all in the head and the stomach and everything else. They just jumped me. The girls too, just hit me. Boom, boom. They were just going off. Going off, And I got to the end of the rail, right? So what I did was I took my shoe off on my left leg. Okay? They didn't know I was a black belt in karate. I took my shoe off on my left leg. When I got my skate off on the left leg and I had my right leg, the skate was still on it. Well, the party began, okay? I kicked one of the growers, hit him in the head with the skate, hit another one.
This is the last call for all bus students. This is the last call for all.
Have any bus students in here?
Please come to the loading zone.
You left already?
Come to the loading zone.
Okay, so what happened was, man, I went to welling off on these kids. You hear what I'm saying? I mean, well, I was a kid too. What am I talking about? But anyway, they was coming at me, man. I was hitting them low on the kneecap, breaking their kneecap, hitting them. Man, I was doing all kind of jump kicks and etc. And man, they was spread it all out. And I had them. I was like in the middle of the skating ring like that. Come on, come on. So by that time, wasn't none of them man enough to come up to me. And this girl came up to me from Mississippi. She took her hand back and she slapped me so hard. It came from Virginia, came through Texas, and fire! She hit me, man, in my eyes. I've never ever. You ever saw those cartoons that got those stars going around like that? I know where they get that from now. Because when she hit me, actual stars went around my head. I mean, I was like this. And I said to myself, God, I cannot hit this woman. So I just picked her up like that and I just threw her. And she fell up on the pinball machines, the cracking machines all up. And the pinball machines, the machines cracked and everything else, man, I was furious. And the owner came out and grabbed me and put me in the back. 2 police officers came in, and the police officers were like, okay, I heard y'all had a gang fight. Check that out. I heard y'all had a gang fight. And the owner said, yeah, I don't know about the gang, but we had a fight. So the police came in, and all these kids were describing me who beat them up, and they had cuts all over them and etc., right? So the owner said, okay, let me check your pockets and stuff like that. So the owner was like, what you checking, the police were checking my pocket. The owner said, what you checking his pockets for? He said, we checking him for a knife and stuff. All these kids was all cut up. He said, take them handcuffs, because he had already cuffed me. He said, take them handcuffs off of him. He said, what you talking about? He said, I'm the owner of this place. He said, I said, take them handcuffs off him now. He said, man, I ain't never saw a Bruce Lee interpretation in my life. He said, this little boy whipped all their butts by himself. He's staying, all them going. So he rounded up all the kids, put them on a bus, and took them home. And the guy he told me, you can come here and skate for free anytime. So that was the gang fight that I was in when I was a young kid.
You was bleeding too?
Oh yeah, I was busted up too. No, didn't have to pay for nothing. Matter of fact, the owner liked me so much, I ain't never had to pay to go and skate no more.
Did your brothers never help you?
I did.
Your brothers
Oh no,
never
they
help
was running. Matter of fact, when we walked home, they was like, Eric, you had everything handled, bro. You know, we didn't think you need us. Now it messed up. Well, no, my little brother helped me out a little bit, because he was my younger brother. He helped me out. He had like a one-on-one situation. He didn't know no karate. But we were mad with my 2 cousins. And to today we call them cowards. So, you know. Go ahead.